Welcome to Ask the Good Doctor. I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire on Sirius XM, Urban View, Channel 126, where talk empowers and becomes action. I want to have a very important conversation with you all today. So gather around your family, around the radio, good old fashioned style, the way that we used to. Call up a neighbor or a friend and tell them Dr. Brookshire is on the air with a critical alert. And my topic for you today is of the utmost importance. It is about when the flu and COVID collide. Oh, yes, when the flu and COVID collide, because you need to know that the flu and the COVID are going to collide. Without a doubt, make no mistake about it. I want you to understand that these are perilous and hazardous times for living in America today. So grab your Good Doctor notebook, and if you never had one until now, make sure that you have a designated notebook for all of the things that we will be discussing moving forward. And for those of you who filled up notebook after all of these years, thank you. Add on to it. Join me right now on Twitter at Ask the Good Doc, on Instagram and Facebook at Ask the Good Doctor. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel where these programs are evergreen. So let's get right to it. Well, the pink elephant in the room is absolutely positively that our president has tested positive for COVID. Oh my. You know, I wish him many blessings. He and his family, all of the staffers at the White House, all of the Secret Service people, because we need to pray for them, quite honestly. We need to pray that they are more aware. We need to pray that they listen to science and not to one another. We need to pray that they trust the science and the medical advice, because this is not a political issue. This is a plague. Let me just call a thing a thing. This is a plague, y'all. And if you didn't know it, I'm telling you now. Be not confused. COVID-19 is a plague. It is airborne. It is highly, highly, highly contagious, and you have to protect yourself. So I ask this question: why in the world wouldn't you do something as simple as protecting yourself with a mask, huh? Why wouldn't you do something as simple as washing your hands? Why wouldn't you do something as simple as social distancing? It's a plague. And if you look back on photographs from the Spanish flu of 1919, I'm going to let you know that you should do some research for yourself, just a little bit of research. One click of the internet. You got that little fancy phone in your hand, use it for something good. And here's what I want you to use it for. I want you to use it to search the Spanish flu, and you will find headlines that say, closed by the order of the government, not opening again due to the pandemic. Don't know when we're going to open. Closed, closed, closed. And then you're going to see a lot of photographs of people wearing masks. Yes? They had to shut down everything for a period of time, or the Spanish flu would have never gone away. There are photographs with army people, military people with masks. There are photographs of women sewing in like a sweatshop with masks. So they're at their workplace with masks. And I'm just trying to figure out what's so hard about this. I'm trying to figure out why you would choose not to protect yourselves when there is a plague in the street. My mother said that if you play with fire, you're going to get burned. Well, I don't like to talk about karma, but I will say this: when you go low, karma goes lower. That's all I have to say. But God says, you reap what you sow, more than you sow, and later than you sow. and that is just a fact. I wish the president a speedy recovery. I wish that he would stay quarantined until the plague has passed, until his infectiousness has passed, until he is no longer infectious. I wish he would stay quarantined. I wish him not to ride around in trucks that are sealed with other people, placing them further at risk. I have a special, special prayer for all of the Secret Service people who can't say and won't say no. This is perilous living right now, being in servitude to this administration. And as we see the White House drop like flies, I'm asking myself, could this been avoided had they just taken simple precautions? When I looked at the Rose Garden ceremony for the nominee of the Supreme Court a couple of weeks ago, when I looked at all of those people sitting so close together, literally there were people jam-packed in that Rose Garden. When I think of all of those children who were present, who were the Judge Amy's children, all 7 of them, when I think of them, none of them masked. None of the people present masked. Well, there were a few people masked, but the majority of the people were not masked. I am curious to learn about all of those people who could possibly now be infected with COVID who were not. The adage of wearing the mask these days is, I wear my mask to protect you, you wear your mask to protect me. Let me tell you what I have to say about that. Forget that. I wear my mask, my double mask, to protect myself, because I am not sure what you're doing. I am not sure if your mask is functioning to the same degree that mine is functioning. And I want you to take a mask functionality test. If you can blow air through your mask to where you can blow out a candle or even move a tissue, mask up a second time. Put another mask over that mask to give you an extra layer of protection. I have some very high quality masks, so I put those masks close to my skin, and we're going to talk more about masks. I put those masks close to my skin, and then I just put a little cheapy mask on top because I want to protect the integrity of my expensive mask. And I don't want to continue to wash my mask over and over so where it breaks down so much. Because if your mask does happen to come in contact with droplets, then that mask needs to be washed. And as you put on and take off the mask, if it comes in contact with droplets, now you've got it on your hands. And this is how your hands end up in your mouth, how your hand ends up in your nose, how your hand ends up in your eyes. And there the droplets from your mask are transferring to your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. And now you've put a droplet of COVID into your body, into your system. But oh my goodness, if your immune system were just strong enough to handle it, we wouldn't even need to have this conversation. But oh, we do. Oh, yes, we do. So I want to talk to you, though, because we are going to have a problem coming up here soon, and it's really technically already begun. And that is when the flu and COVID collide. You know, the difference between the flu and COVID-19, what is that difference? Well, you know, annually we are taken down by the flu in America, quite honestly, where they always suspect between 30 and 35,000 Americans to die from the flu. And this is why they want people to get a flu shot. Let me say this about a flu shot right now. Full disclosure, you know, I'm not a fan of the flu shot because there are certain ingredients in the flu shot that don't have anything to do with my healing. But let me say this, and things that I'm personally against within the flu shot that are against what I stand for morally. But I will say this about the flu shot if you choose to get it. And some people swear by it. They really do. And for those of you who love it, I say go for it. But one thing I want you to know, if you choose to get a flu shot, I want you to get a flu shot in the safety of a doctor's office. Sterile, safe, and the doctor and their staff can recognize right away if in fact you are having an adverse reaction to that flu shot. Please don't get a flu shot in a grocery store for a $25 gift card. Please don't get a flu shot at your local pharmacy for a gift card and points. Please don't do that, because they are not trained to recognize if you are having a negative response to that shot. They're not doctors, they're pharmacists. I don't want a pharmacist giving me a shot for anything, all out in the open where everybody has germs floating around. We've talked about for a long time, COVID is airborne, and yet we're going to take a flu shot wide out in the open. I don't think so. No, 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 don't do that. So if it's a flu shot that you want and a flu shot that you plan to get, gather your family and make an appointment at your doctor, at the doctor's office. So, what are the differences between the influenza, the flu, and COVID-19? Well, both the flu and COVID are highly contagious. Yes, they are. And they're respiratory illnesses, which means that they both attack the lungs, but they are caused by very different viruses. COVID is caused by infection with the new coronavirus, which is a derivative of SARS-CoV-2. And the flu is caused by infection with influenza viruses. Now, the CDC says because some of the symptoms of flu and COVID are similar, it may be hard to tell the difference between them on just the symptoms, and testing may be needed to help confirm a diagnosis. I say, what? May be needed. Testing absolutely will be needed to confirm a diagnosis. So here's the whole thing with the testing. I say that the testing has slowed down because this administration does not really want to come to terms with how many people are absolutely positively infected with COVID. And they're going to discover that once there's more testing in place. Listen, if you have an opportunity to be tested and you want to be, by all means, get tested. If you feel that you have the virus and you want a confirmation so that you can keep the people that you come in contact with safe so that you can quarantine safely, by all means, get tested and contribute to the numbers. You know what's interesting about getting tested now, as we just heard from Sylvia K. Austin, risk manager, on right here a week or so ago, she told us that if you ever test positive for COVID, or if you ever test positive for the antibodies, that you are now uninsurable. Hello, you are uninsurable if you test positive for COVID, or if you test positive for having the antibodies of COVID. Oh boy, did that blow my hair back. That blew me out of the window, because who would have ever thought that? Who would have ever thought that the insurance industry with SARS years ago, when SARS first showed up on the scene, they listed viruses and bacteria as two of the things to now be added to the list of uninsurability. So, if you, under the sound of my voice, have yet to get life insurance for yourself and obtain life insurance for your children, do it now. Because if you're sending your children into school buildings, if you are allowing them to play sports, the least you could do is have them insured. And the other thing that Sylvia shed light on was the fact that if you currently do have a policy, and if you test positive, you cannot increase the face value. Wow. So it makes a really good case for keeping your immune system strong, and we're going to get into that in the next segment. But I want to continue here with what the CDC has to say about the flu and COVID being different and the differences between them. Here are some key differences between the two. Here are some key similarities between the two. Both COVID and the flu have lots of signs and symptoms, ranging from no symptoms, which is the asymptomatic phase that a lot of people are in right now with COVID, to severe symptoms. And common symptoms that COVID and flu share are fever or feeling feverish and chills, coughing, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, fatigue, sore throat, runny or stuffy nose, muscle pain, body aches, headache, and some people may even have vomiting and diarrhea. Now, they say that this is more common in children than in adults, but haven't we learned anything with this virus yet? And that should be what we have learned, and that is to not exclude any demographic, because it is absolutely positively when you are looking in one direction that this thing is cropping up in another direction. At first, people were saying, well, health experts were saying that the COVID was just affecting older adults. And it is because it is the older adults, older white adults, let's just be clear, who were first contracting COVID because they were the ones traveling. They were the ones on cruise ships. They were the ones traveling abroad. And they were the ones who contracted it and brought it home. Those people are also the ones who have a mounting list of underlying conditions, comorbidities. So when the administration first told us that people with comorbidities and underlying conditions are going to succumb to this the most, I knew instinctively that meant the Black community. I knew instinctively that meant the brown community. I knew that because of the number of comorbidities that rest in our communities at only 13% of the population. Yet, overwhelmingly, our pre-existing conditions outnumber other ethnicities. So I knew it was going to be a problem for us. We have to combat these things no matter what. I have been on my soapbox, I do believe, for these last 4 years teaching about increasing your immune system. Remember, I'm hard on you about this. I am. I know it. But it's because I'm a woman who, because my immune system was rock solid, saved my life against getting AIDS. Being married to a man who married me knowing that he had AIDS and I did not know. And so when I'm telling you these things, I'm telling you because this has been my experience. When your immune system is strong, I don't care what kind of virus it is. I do not care if it's SARS, if it's H1N1, if it's the bird flu, if it's the swine flu, if it's Ebola, if it's COVID, if it's HIV, I don't care. When your immune system is strong, when you're covered with a high dose of the grace of God, hallelujah, all of that combined, whipped up together, makes for nothing being able to get near you. So we're going to talk on the other side of this break about what we could do to combat these things. We're also going to talk more about when COVID and the flu collide. So don't go away. I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, and we'll be back after this. Welcome back to Ask the Good Doctor. I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire on Sirius XM, Urban View, Channel 126, where talk empowers and becomes action. And I am your friendly neighborhood classical naturopathic doctor, treating you with everything that is in nature, using no medicine. So we are talking today about how the flu and COVID will absolutely positively collide. I would like to say, Houston, do you hear me? we have a problem. But it does not have to be. I love how the momentum advisors say that there's going to be a recession, but they're not going to participate. Ha! I love that. So the flu and the COVID are going to collide, and there's going to be a problem, but we don't have to participate. I'm not participating. I'm already claiming I'm not participating. So, because I want you to know that when God made you, He made an awesome healing machine. And there is a way to not get a cold, the flu, or COVID this season. So grab your Good Doctor notebook. Here are 7 tips to help keep you and your family well as we enter into this season. Number 1, please understand that yes, you are what you eat. Oh, yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are. I need you to lay down the spirit of I can eat whatever I want to and not get sick. Stop it. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. You cannot eat whatever you want to and not get sick. Stop that now. And I want you also to lay down the thought of I'm going to die from something, so I may as well enjoy myself. Stop that too, because you put the strain on an entire village who loves and cares for you when you do that, because there are going to be people at your beck and call when you get sick. So stop that too. So no, that's the wrong thinking. That is really stinking thinking. Keep in mind that eating fruits and vegetables, especially in the winter months, will give your immunity the vitamins and minerals it needs to combat against any germ invader. Any germ invader. And why is that? It's because fruits and vegetables are immune boosters and they keep your body alkaline. This is why people are talking about plant-based diets. And I am not just talking about people who claim that they're vegans and have a steady diet of junk. No, I'm talking about people who are really vegans and really vegetarians who really do eat vegetables in a steady diet. I personally eat about 75 to 80% on plant-based, and the rest of the 20% I eat protein, and I eat clean proteins when I eat clean proteins. I eat wild caught fish only. I eat organic chicken only and antibiotic-free turkey. Those are the things that I eat. And when I eat them, I shop at the farms. Remember, no farms, no food. I support my local farmer and find a farm or a farm stand that you can support as well near you. You see them on the road. Sometimes when you're driving by, they're parked out, fresh fruit, fresh tomatoes, fresh corn, fresh this. Especially those of you who live in a warmer climate, you are at an advantage to having fresh fruit and vegetables year round. Take advantage of it. And please, please, everybody, if you know what I know, you'll grow your own food. Just grow one thing in a windowsill, and the windowsill that gets the most sun in your home, your apartment, your window ledge, your fire escape. One thing. I don't care if it's basil, if it's thyme, parsley. Parsley will grow for you all winter long, wild and crazy. And that is the most beautiful thing. It is not just garnish for a plate, y'all. Parsley is an incredible chelator, which draws out heavy metals and heavy toxins out of the body. Grow some parsley and some cilantro. And when you combine the two of those, ooh, if you have any heavy metal toxicity, so if you've got black fillings in your mouth, mercury fillings in your mouth, that cilantro and parsley together, ooh, first of all, it tastes delicious, and then it'll draw metal toxicity out of your body. Yes, so this is what we need to do. So just grow one thing, even through the winter. I showed you all my garden. I started that in my living room, much to my husband's dismay, but I did it anyway. I grew that stuff in my living room. All right. Yes, you are what you eat. Oh, yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are. Number 2, make water your primary beverage. Yeah. Water should be your primary beverage. For those of you who are still claiming, I hate water, I don't like the way water tastes, I can't get it down, wah, 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 wah. Okay? Out of your bellies shall flow rivers of living water. And it is that water that flows that keeps everything running smoothly. What happens when you walk past a pond or even just a big puddle of water? What happens to that water when it doesn't have any fresh water to it? First of all, it attracts insects, yes, and trash. And most of all, it smells. Yeah, it stinks. So when you don't put water inside of your own body, then everything cannot move around. It can't swish, swish. It can't swish around. I told this story before, but it's worth telling again. My 97-year-old aunt who takes one medication beat COVID. Yes, she did. Aunt Irene beat COVID. She did. And when she left the hospital, they told her two things. She left with two instructions, and those instructions were to avoid sweets because the virus loves sweets. Oh, yes, it does. It feeds on sugar. So avoid sweets and to drink water every 30 minutes. And I was screaming from the mountaintops, yes, because it flushes it out. That virus settles when you're in your asymptomatic phase. It settles in the nostrils or it settles in the mouth. And now we know it settles in the eyes before it ends up everywhere else in the body. And it kind of hangs out there for a couple of days. But if you're drinking water and flushing, and how many of you are actually even rinsing your nose? Clean your nose every day. Put your finger in your nose with your washcloth and clean it. And then blow your nose into that wet cloth and then clean your nose again. But still, just like your body needs water to bathe off, to wash off the daily dirt, then so does your body need water internally. And I am not talking about things that are just wet. No, you cannot have just what is wet. Coffee will drag down your immune system. Now, the study just came out last week at Harvard Medical School, put out a report, a study that they have been doing for the last 10 years that told us that people who drink a cup of coffee before breakfast are most at risk for type 2 diabetes. What? How many people wake up or set their timer on their coffee machine to get that cup of coffee going and will have their cup of coffee not only before they eat, but even before they brush their teeth? Yuck. So yes, I'm coffee bashing you. Yes, I am. I know it's a gazillion dollar industry. I don't care. Coffee is the most acidic plant on earth. And it is so acidic that it takes 32 cups of water to make your body look like it never had that cup of coffee. And none of you are drinking 32 cups of water. None of you aren't, because that's even more than the gallon I drink a day. All right? So stop fooling yourselves. And the same thing with pop and soda. Same thing, pop, soda. Yes, I'm from Chicago. And when you drink that pop, it takes 32 cups of water to make your body look like it never had it. And also that high fructose corn syrup in the pop. Or if you're drinking sugar-free, then you got the fake sugars, yuck, that are disgusting, that kill rats dead, that kill insects dead. Insects won't even touch that fake stuff if you put it down. That's how bad you know it is. So stop drinking that. You're setting up a storm within your body. And when they're talking about with the COVID, with the cytokine storm that occurs based on what we give ourselves, it can help that either diminish or it can help it to flourish. And you don't want to help it to flourish. But COVID can only set up residence. Flu can only set up residence if your body is acidic. We want to make your body alkaline. There's a lot of talk about alkalinity and the acid alkaline controversy, and people who are spending thousands of dollars to buy alkaline water machines. Well, let me bust their bubble. You can make your water alkaline by simply putting lemon in your water, cucumber, celery, mint, any fruit or any vegetable. How about that? And save your $4,000. Put it in One United Bank. All right, let's help them get to $1 billion. Yes, that was a shameless plug. I support her. I support Terry Williams. All right, so I'm off my soapbox about the water. Drink it, because that'll help you pee and poop. Ha! All right, monitor your pee. It is the single best self-assessment tool we have for our health. Look at it. Turn around. Look at your poop. Pay attention. Your pee should be clear by 12 noon. If it's not, suck down more water. If it's not clear by the time you are going to bed, you are going to bed with the acid of the day burdening the body into tomorrow. Think of it that way. If you go to bed and your pee is still yellow, and if you didn't do a good job of drinking for the day, and sometimes we miss it, let's admit it, sometimes I do, but I make every effort to make sure my pee is clear by bedtime, see, because I don't want to drag today into tomorrow. And that should be your goal. And that is so easy to do, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything to turn around and look and see what color your pee is. Remember one thing, there is already 1 gallon of water in the toilet. And if you cannot dilute 1 gallon of water, know that you're in trouble. Know that you need to drink more water so that you can dilute your pee will be diluted in 1 gallon of water. Because if it's still yellow, it is concentrated. And that's on you, not that toilet. Don't blame the toilet. Okay? All right. You want to drink half your body weight in ounces. That's very important. So if you weigh 200 pounds, drink 100 ounces of water. If your child weighs 50 pounds, give them 25 ounces of water. And please avoid the sugary drinks. Please, for the children. If you're not squeezing that juice, listen, if you're not buying organic, avoid anything that says high fructose corn syrup. It drags down our immune systems. You don't need that. Additionally, stop buying the soda for these children. What? Do you know more children are now coming down with fatty liver disease? Fatty liver disease. Fatty liver disease was once reserved for 80-year-old men. But it is now more and more a commonality in children and teens. What in the world? And I'm going to tell you what it is. The culprit, as we learned from Dr. Sam Shepard, the culprit is the pop and the soda. Drinking 3 sodas a day is the equivalent of drinking 3 beers. The body, the liver specifically, cannot differentiate between the two. It cannot. So this is how fatty liver comes about. And boy, if you do not know how to detoxify your liver, give me a buzz, send me an email, make an appointment with me. I'll help you detoxify your livers if you know that this has been you on a trajectory of drinking 3 of these kinds of beverages a day. Let's clean up everything. Take every precaution. These things that I'm teaching you right now will also help you to usher in perfect health and help you get rid of the comorbidities, okay? Number 3, go to bed. Ah, yes, go to bed. Did you know that your body only heals when you're sleeping? A sound sleep by midnight, which means going to bed by 10 o'clock, so you can be in that REM state sound sleep by midnight, staves off all chronic diseases. I will say that again. It holds back all chronic diseases. Going to bed by 10 o'clock. Your body will repair itself at night. Why? Because the moon heals and the sun gives us energy and vitamin D. That's our real liquid sunshine. We need to be in bed by 10 o'clock. So turn off that computer. Stop roaming around the cabin and having your children keep you company. What is that all about? put those children to bed by 8 p.m., and then you have 2 extra hours to get yourselves together. But we have got to stop being an up all night people. If there's something you want to watch on television, DVR it. I no longer watch things after 10 o'clock anymore. A late night here and there, absolutely. Everyone has a project that they're working on here and there. But I am telling you, if you monitor how you feel the next day after you have stayed up late too many nights in a row, I want you to take your blood pressure. That's what I want you to do. And you will find that your blood pressure will be elevated. Yep, because the healing cycle for blood pressure is up at midnight. The circadian clock, we cannot defy that nature. This is the science that we cannot argue with, because this is God's science. God is science, by the way. Yeah, he said, let there be, and it was. A lot of things were, and a lot of things are, and a lot of things will be. Just stay tuned, okay? Go to bed. It does the body good. Let me just say this. You cannot measure what you don't monitor. So I want you to start keeping a food log. I want you to start writing down every single thing that you eat and drink, how many times you're peeing, how many times you're pooping, and how much water, of course, you're drinking, and what time you're going to bed. And then I want you to see how you feel when you cheat, when you eat too many sweets in one day, when you have too many pops in one day, when you have not enough vegetables or fruit in one day, when you know that you've had a steady diet of junk, going through drive-throughs, eating too much fast food, eating too much takeout. I want you to monitor how you feel the next day. You're going to be surprised. And when you start writing it down and start noting a habitual pattern, it's my hope that you will make changes. Listen, we're not going to be around forever to tell you these things over and over and over. These are the vital, life-saving gems that I'm here to share with you. I want you to pass this on to your village, and this way you and your village can be whole. Let's move on to number 4. Take vitamins. Take vitamins. You know how many grown people I talk to who don't take vitamins? You've lost your mind. You got to take vitamins. Now, I'm not talking about some little vitamins you can pick up at Walmart. Stop that. No, you need high quality supplementation. And that is because the food that's being purchased these days, unless you are fastidious about buying and purchasing organic food or food from your farmer, then what is being sold in stores today, just general food on the shelf, is not the highest quality. We cannot depend on it to help to usher us in good health. So we have to supplement to ensure that our bodies stay strong. We need a multivitamin, multi-mineral formula. We need something like Green Vibrance or Superfood by Dr. Scholl's or Vitamineral Greens. I love all of those multivitamin, multi-mineral products. I love them in powder, and I'm an advocate for powders, chewables, and liquids because it goes directly to the bloodstream. Yes, and we need immediate response. We need immediate action. When you take these things, you'll feel it right away. It goes to work on the cellular level. I'm also a fan of the micronutrient Micro Daily, which has all of the little bitty micronutrients in high quantities to help keep us running optimally. That is a swear by in my household. Everybody takes that, and we never run out of it. We also need the things in our superfoods, and they're called the superfoods because they contain the superfoods, which are wheatgrass, spirulina, blue-green algae, chlorophyll, barley grass, all of the grasses and leaves and berries and ooh-wee, goody. So it tastes like dirt. Yes, it does. I don't care. Nobody asked you what it tastes like, but I guarantee you, you will feel a difference. So don't go away. We'll finish this list when we come back for our discussion, when the flu and COVID collide. Don't go away. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Ask the Good Doctor. I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire on Sirius XM, Urban View, Channel 126, where talk empowers and becomes action. And we are back to finish off the conversation about when the flu and COVID collide. Yes, make no mistake, it's going to happen. And I am in the middle of the list of some good tips to help you stay strong and healthy during this season. So we have just rounded out take vitamins at number 4. Now we're up to number 5. Take cod liver oil and vitamin C. Ha ha. Well, your mama was right about that cod liver oil. Yes, indeed. Cod liver oil transports the necessary vitamin D and acts as a conductor when sunshine is limited. Yep. Listen, just because we're on quarantine doesn't mean we go outside, doesn't mean we don't go outside. I want you outside, okay? You have to go out because that's how you get your vitamin D. But during the winter months, that cod liver oil is crucial for your vitamin D to help transport the vitamin D and to help elevate that number. And also vitamin C. Now, we know through the COVID season that we couldn't get vitamin C, couldn't find it anywhere. Start stocking up on it right now in all kinds of forms, in chewables, in liquids, and in powders. All right. I used to support Emergen-C. Now I have come to discover that it contains fructose. And fructose is a very big contributor to the fatty liver. So I'm off of Emergen-C. Yes? No more. No more Emergen-C. I love the acerola cherry vitamin C. I love that. And they're chewables. And I love the trace minerals electrolytes, which is a vitamin C powder, and it actually has 1,200 milligrams of vitamin C in one little package, and it's effervescent just like the Emergen-C was, so I don't feel like I'm missing anything. I just love, 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 love it. You have to take a lot of vitamin C. If you feel something coming on, don't just do nothing. Take the vitamin C, take an extra tablespoon of the cod liver oil. Make my anti-plague formula that you can get in my book in Kitchen Warriors 101, Homemade Healthy. I put the recipe in the book so you can make the anti-plague formula for yourself because I told you this COVID is a plague. Yes, it is a plague. Know it. Act on it. Do something. Don't just sit there and let it come unto you. All right? So children need around 500 milligrams of vitamin C a day, and adults need about 2,000 milligrams a day. And don't forget, make sure that it's chewable or it's powder or it's liquid. Number 6 is wash your hands. Ah, yes. We know all about the frequent hand washing with soap. I'm not crazy about the antibacterial kind because this is where we are right now with an antibiotic resistant society. And if we weren't so busy begging doctors for antibiotics like hydroxychloroquine or Z-Packs and every little sniffle, every time the wind blows, you want an antibiotic. Well, you know what? Antibiotics should be reserved for times like this. If we weren't such an antibiotic resistant society, this thing could have been over with people wouldn't have had to die, okay, because they're antibiotic resistant. This is the problem. So stop bathing in antibacterial soaps. Stop washing your hands with antibacterial soaps every chance you get. Wash your hands with a good soap, something that has essential oils in it, because that kills a germ fast, still 99.9%. Okay. And if you happen to drink it, it won't kill your dog. It won't kill your child. You don't have to call a poison control center if you get hold of something like that. All right. And that's why we do the Healthy Home, Healthy You workshops and Wellness Wednesday webinars. That's why we do them. But it's important that you wash your hands, that you keep your hands clean. And the reason why I don't like the antibacterial kind is because the skin is the largest organ and it seeps into the body and it seeps like a sponge. It just sucks it right up and sucks it right into the body. I have a girlfriend who said she liked to bathe in alcohol and couldn't understand why she was having a bloody nose all the time, her nose bleed. And I was like, you've got to stop bathing in alcohol. That goes directly into your bloodstream. Additionally, she was experiencing vertigo. I'm like, that's like drinking 100 proof. And she was using a 91% alcohol, of course. I was like, stop all of that. And of course, poof, it all went away. All right. But wash your hands with a good soap and sing that happy birthday song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Yes, the Stevie Wonder variety. Yeah, I choose that one. And just like we saw the little woman educating us with the hand washing and going to the sink and singing her little song and singing the happy birthday, I want to see a commercial that educates us on building a better plate. Let's build better plates. All right. Make the plate the rainbow, and that'll help us as well. But wash hands immediately when coming into your house. Also, wash your body when you come into the house. And do not dream of getting in your bed. Don't dare go to bed without bathing. There's a plague in the streets. It's airborne. It's on you. It's on your clothes. It's on your hair. Don't do it. And me as a Black woman, I don't wash my hair every day. I can't wash my hair every day. I could, but I probably wouldn't have hair left. But I don't wash my hair every day. So I cover my hair when I go in the streets because I don't want droplets in my hair. Okay? And Dr. Sam already taught us that it's a lipid. So it's greasy and it sticks to us and it clings. And that's why it hangs around for 72 hours on surfaces. So if it hangs around on surfaces, it's on your skin. Bathe before you get into bed, okay? Bathe when you come into your door and take your shoes off too. All right. I know I'm giving you a lot of information, but you need it. We need it. Until our numbers decrease in our community, I'm going to beat you up every time I get, every opportunity I get, because I want you to hear me. Finally, number 7, cut back on those store-bought sweets. It's time for you to open up a cookbook, be it my cookbook, whether you call Aunt Susie or somebody, and find out how to make your favorite sweets yourself and switch out the bad ingredients for good ones. So instead of using white sugar, use organic cane sugar, because sugar cane, y'all, is brown. I don't know if you ever had any sugar cane. You need to take a trip down south and go hook up with your cousins if you have any. Sugar cane is brown. All right, that white stuff, they've bleached that. So, and also flour is a little tinted tan too, unbleached flour. But when you grab my cookbook, Kitchen Warriors, you're going to find out I swap a lot of the things that we know that we grew up on. But listen, you know better and you do better. So swap out those old ingredients for the good stuff and bake your own sweets. And if you happen to go to a party that will be socially distant, hello, and masked up, you can take something that you trust because you know you made it. Yeah. And you could treat everybody else at the event, at the party, to it as well. So you be the bearer of bringing the good thing. I want you to know for a fact. I want you to think on these things. As we inevitably go back into full-on quarantine. Oh, wait, y'all do know that's happening, right? You do know that. Okay, just checking. I want you to make peace with it. We are not stuck at home. We are safe at home. Physical distancing is crucial, but it should not cause social isolation. Do a drive-by, check on people, let them know you love them, make them a dish. My neighbors and I, we walk up our road and people ring the bell and you go out, there's a package of something. Somebody went to the store, caught a sale on something and passes it out on the road. That's what we do. That's really being neighborly. In order to be a good neighbor, to have good neighbors, you have to show yourself neighborly. Yes? And also have those difficult end-of-life discussions. You will feel at peace knowing your loved ones' decisions, their wishes, and whether the time comes tomorrow or a decade from now, you will know what it is they wanted in their last days. You will know what keeps them comfortable. And if you're not really sure, ask them. It's really so simple. Just ask. In just regular conversations. Oh, I was wondering, do you like your socks? Do you like the seam touching your toe? Or do you like Bombas socks where they have no seams? But me, when I don't have on my Bombas socks, I turn my seams inside out. I don't like a seam touching my toe, especially if I have shoes on. I can't stand it. So these are the things that I know. These are the creature comforts that I want to know. I want people to know if they have to take care of me. And finally, if you happen to become infected with COVID, I want you to know that there's some things that you can do. Number one, you can take beta carotene and you can take garlic, and you take them together all at once, a high quantity of them. Contact me, I can let you know what. But also, as you move through this season, you may find that you need to detox. And since you won't be going anywhere, I know a lot of you are afraid to detox because you don't want to go to the freaking bathroom. But guess what? That's exactly where you need to be, because we're going to put all that toxicity right in the toilet, let it go down the drain in the tub when we take our baths and our healing baths. If you want a little help doing that, I'm offering a special. Contact me, Dr. Brookshire at Outlook.com. That's Dr. Brookshire at Outlook.com. And I'll be glad to give you a schedule of when you can get in touch with me and schedule you for a one-on-one phone consultation. And I intentionally keep my prices low so that you can get the things that you need for your healing. So that does it for me. I want to thank my team, IW supervising producer, Chris technical producer, and Alexa engineering producer. Remember to let your eyes shine, cut back on the wine, get good food fast, and go easy on the greasy. Until next time, I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, here to help you attain and maintain your perfect health, even through the flu and COVID collision. Let's do it again next week, okay? God bless you.